The third interview that I did for Playboy, I believe it was third or maybe the fourth, was of Malcolm X, at a time when Malcolm was just coming into major prominence in the national periodicals and newspapers. When an interview of him appeared, among its readers was a book publisher who asked Malcolm if he would be willing to tell his life in book-length detail. Malcolm was hesitant at first, but he finally agreed that he would. And then, because I believe Malcolm associated me as the black writer who probably was affiliated more with major national magazine stories, he asked me if I would be willing to work with him on this book. I was pleased, honored, flattered to do so. And I would spend the next 2 years with Malcolm X, the first year interviewing him very exhaustively, the second year taking all that interview material, putting it out first in a very exacting chronology, breaking it up into what seemed to be logical chapter sections, and then studying each of those sections very intensively, and then writing vicariously first person as if I were he, a manuscript which hopefully would sound as if Malcolm had just sat down across a table and was trying to tell a reader his life as best he could recall it from earliest days. When the manuscript was finished, I went back down and worked with Malcolm. I was by now living upstate New York, and worked with him in a hotel. And he went across from first page to last, making this or that editing change with his favorite ballpoint pen, and at the bottom of each page putting his MX. And then he said to me, "I don't think I'm going to live to read this in print." Malcolm proved to be very prophetic, because it was less than 2 weeks later he was shot to death in the Audubon Ballroom. And the following morning after that, I sat down and began the most traumatic writing I have ever done in my life, calling forth as best I could reminiscings of having met and worked with this man, anecdotes and insights into him, put together in some kind of tumbling chronology. And that is that part which now appears at the end of that book called the epilogue. And the autobiography of Malcolm X was concluded and on its way into print.